Hello, I'm Lucia, and today I'm doing a good old classic redraw. I drew this picture that I am redrawing about 2 years ago, and I did it for a Draw This in Your Style when I reached, I don't know actually, but I think I just did a Draw This in Your Style for fun, because I know I did a different one when I reached 1K, but anyway. It's a Draw This in Your Style that I did, and I'm kind of like doing my own Draw This in Your Style, but 2 years later, which is kind of fun. I think redraws are a really good way to track improvement. I used to do a yearly redraw of my character, Eric. This is my character, Bird. I only redraw OCs, apparently. But I think it's a really good way to see how much you've improved. And I definitely think that I've improved a lot over the past 2 years. If you're ever feeling really like insecure about your art, which I often do and I think most artists do, I think a redraw is a really good way to boost your confidence because sometimes you'll look back at an old picture and think like, oh, I don't like the way this turned out, but it's not like I can do much better now, but you for sure can. You'd be surprised what a big difference there are. Especially the better you get at art, the more you notice the mistakes in your art. So looking back at this old art, even if back then I kind of liked it, I don't remember my thoughts on it because it was 2 years ago, but even if there's a picture that you're proud of, it's really fun to think, oh, in 2 years, I'm gonna look back on this and know that I can do better, which is really cool. So even this redraw that I did now, I know in 2 years I'll be so much better, and that's really fun to think about, especially seeing the gap between this one and the old one. Another 2-year gap would be really neat, and I think it's just really encouraging and like fun to do. Redraws are also really good when you're going through art block, because then you don't have to think about what to draw, you're just like recycling an old idea you've already had. I have art block often, and especially right now, so this was really nice to just do, especially since I've been doing a lot of commissions lately. So taking a break from that and just like mindlessly drawing is really nice. I definitely think I improved a lot with not just the like anatomy and like face structure, but mostly like my coloring. Back then, I really wanted to be like a painterly artist, but I wasn't good at it, and I didn't know how to color. And now I definitely think I've sort of established more of a coloring style that I didn't have before. I do like a mixture of soft shading and cell shading that I think looks fairly nice, especially compared to the old one in which I exclusively used the soft brush and tried to blend like that. And just my color picking is a lot better. I get what I was going for with the last one with like the purple shadows and then the yellow like lighting and the jacket, because they're complementary colors, so like that makes sense. But I picked like a cool tone yellow, like a greenish yellow, and then a warm tone like reddish purple, and so when you try to blend them together it ends up really muddy, and I think that really did happen a lot with the old one. So the new one I picked only things that are in the same color family, even if they're on the opposite side, like purple and yellow are opposites, they're complementary. If you do both cool tones or both red tones, it'll look more cohesive and blend together nicer, and things will look less muddy, especially if you do the shadows more saturated, because sometimes doing a low saturation shadow on top of like a light color, it'll start to look grayish, which is not what I wanted. So yeah, I don't think I've improved a lot with like color 3, which is shocking because I didn't think about it at all. I didn't like actively try to get better at colors, it just happened. So once again, redraws really help you to notice how much you've improved at art, even if it's things you weren't even necessarily focusing on. I've mostly been focusing on trying to draw, like, I guess faces mostly, to be honest, and I definitely think that shows. The expression's a lot more interesting in this new one. The old one had it was like too subtle, so you couldn't necessarily tell what the expression was supposed to be at all. It's still subtle now. I like subtlety in expressions, unless it's like a super like silly cartoony drawing, then I'll do like more expressive. But I like this subtle like sort of expression. I don't know how to describe it, it's sort of like fearful. Also, the character, he has one glass eye, so if it looks like I'm drawing him cross-eyed, it's just because the glass eye doesn't move with you when you look. So, just so you know, that's what's happening there. I don't know where I am in the speed paint, if I've gone to coloring or not yet, but I think it'll be more clear there when I add all the cracks in it and the scar on his face. But yeah, also just like this is really weird, but the hood looks so much better. Before it was so poofy. It didn't look like it was the right fabric. It didn't look like a raincoat. It was too thick and see-through at the same time, which is weird. I definitely think I've improved a lot at that and like clothing wrinkles and stuff. And the movement, it looks more like there's wind in the new one. Not a lot of wind. I tried to make it subtly windy, which in the last one and in this one, and I think it translates a lot more in this new one. Just the new one's a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier to see what's happening, which I think is a huge improvement. If you're more of a beginner artist or even like mid-level, like the one below, I still think I'm mid-level, but you know, I think a lot of artists struggle at first with like being neat. And I think that is such a big difference about clean versus messy. I don't remember what I was talking about because my SD card just ran out of memory. But I think the gist of it was it makes a huge difference to put effort into making your art neat. And there's definitely a way to do messy art in a appealing way. But once things start to get muddy or like confusing is the issue with messy art. So I definitely recommend putting a focus on making things look a little bit neater if that's something you're struggling with. But yeah, I think that is something I've sort of discovered along my art journey, is that I'm not good at painterly and sort of going the direction of cleaner line art and more crisp shading worked for me. And then some people are just more inclined to go towards that painterly art style and have a lot easier time blending it. I just struggled a lot with it and I kind of just gave up trying to do that and went a direction that was a lot easier for me. So I think that's something that helped our hair improve a lot as well. At least in my personal experience. I mean, everyone has a different experience with their art journey. Definitely, if you want to do painterly and you're struggling with it, keep going. Like, you don't have to give up and switch styles, but I recommend experimenting because that's helped me figure out what I find easier and what I think ends up looking better and gives me a lot more confidence in my art personally. Yeah, I'm not honestly entirely sure what I'm going to title this video. it's been a while since I posted something and I wanted to do a redraw and I figured that'd be a good video because people don't do redraws that often anymore, which is kind of unfortunate because it's very fun to watch and to look at as just like singular posts, and they're really fun to do. So I don't know why people don't do them quite as often, but I really wanted to do it, so that's what this video is. And I really hope you enjoyed it and that I said something maybe kind of helpful about art confidence and you know, how to tell if you've been improving at art, because you definitely have. You're always improving. Even if you're not putting effort into it, you'll be improving at things that you weren't even trying to. It's really good. It's really fun to think about how 2 years ago that's where I was, and in 2 years from now, who knows where I'll be, you know? It's neat. Art is neat. Art is fun. But yeah, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Here's an outro. Bye-bye.